So in the last part, we discussed that we are going to discuss medulla at different levels. There are 4 levels: level of decussation, level of the decussation of lemnisci, the level of olives, and level just inferior to pons. What do I mean by that is that, for example, consider this figure up there. So this is your pons. This is the posterior side of the pons, and this is the spinal cord. So we'll take one section over here, then another section which will be at the level of sensory decussation, another section over here which will be at the level of olives, and then another section that will just be inferior to the you can say pons. So let us have a look over there. First of all, this is the section we are going to discuss right now, just the section which is connecting the medulla oblongata with the spinal cord. So as we discussed in the previous video, it has an anterior median fissure. Posteriorly, it has posterior median sulcus. Then you have this elevation. This is actually your pyramid. Similarly, pyramid. Then you have olive on this side, olive on this side. Posteriorly, you have another elevation which is known as gracile tubercle. Another elevation which is going to be called cuneate tubercle. Similarly, gracile tubercle here, cuneate tubercle here. Why do we call these gracile tubercles and cuneate tubercles? Because when we were studying so in the ascending tracts, what we can see is these are the nucleus. You know, we were studying about fasciculus, the fasciculus gracilis that was coming from lower limb, the fasciculus cuneatus that was coming from upper limb. They actually terminated in these nuclei, which were nucleus gracilis on the medial side and nucleus cuneatus on the lateral side. Due to the presence of these nuclei, the medulla oblongata has posterior elevations which are actually called the tubercles. So this tubercle over here will be the gracile tubercle with the nucleus gracilis. This will be cuneate tubercle with the nucleus cuneatus. That is all we can see. Now what we see over here, because it is at the level of pyramidal decussation, and what is pyramidal decussations, that when we were studying the descending tracts or the corticospinal tracts, in the corticospinal tracts we saw that this was the cortex. The fibers were coming and they came downward, they passed the midbrain, then the pons, then medulla, and then when they reached the lower portion of the medulla, the fibers crossed and there was decussation, and this decussation is the decussation we are discovering now. This is the decussation of the corticospinal tract that we were discussing, and then when these corticospinal tracts they go downward, they become lateral corticospinal tracts. So these crossing fibers, they are going downward and they are going into the lateral portion of the spinal cord. So they are forming the lateral corticospinal tracts. You can see all of this explained in my descending tracts video that is in the upper portion of this playlist. So one descending pathway is over here. This is the corticospinal or the lateral corticospinal tract that is undergoing decussation. Major thing about this is the decussation of the lateral corticospinal tract. On the posterior side, the gracile tubercle and the cuneate tubercle, along with nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. One another thing that this is the gracilis nucleus, this is the cuneate nucleus, but between the tubercle and the nucleus there is this white matter which is known as fasciculus gracilis, and similarly fasciculus cuneatus, and the nucleus which is actually the grey matter. But this region between the tubercle and the grey matter nucleus, this region is known as white matter or fasciculus. As you can see over here, this is written fasciculus. This tubercle, between the tubercle and the nucleus, this is the fasciculus. Now on the lateral side, what we see is anterior and posterior spinothalamic or spinocerebellar tracts, anterior and posterior spinocerebellar tracts, and this one is lateral spinothalamic tracts. These are 3 ascending tracts. The anterior and posterior ones, they are going to terminate in the cerebellum, And this lateral spinothalamic tract, it is actually a part of the ascending tract which is going to carry. So this is our lateral spinothalamic tract that is beginning from the spinal cord and going up and passing through the medulla, and we were discussing this portion of it passing through the medulla. So this is the pain and temperature pathway. So the lateral spinothalamic tract will be there. Along with that, we have anterior and posterior spinocerebellar tract, which will begin from the anterior and posterior portion of the spinal cord, and they will end in the cerebellum. Because now they are ending in the cerebellum, so what will happen? They are passing through the medulla in their way, so that is why they are in their cross section. So we can see anterior and posterior spinocerebellar tracts, the lateral spinothalamic tract, which is 3 ascending fibers, then this descending corticospinal tract, then the gracile tubercles with the nucleus gracilis, and the fascicle is in between. The fascicle is actually white matter. One thing that we need to note is what is here. It is actually the central canal. Now this is the central canal which is continuous with the central canal of the spinal cord. But when the central canal moves upward to the level of the pons, then it becomes the fourth ventricle. Another thing, this medial longitudinal fasciculus, it is a very good phenomena about it, that for example, you have this is your midbrain, this is your pons, this is your medulla. So you can see that in the medulla we saw that there was pyramid over here, another pyramid over here, olive over here, olive over here. So what is the connection which is going to connect the two identical portions of this region? Because they are two, this portion is mimicking this side, right and left side, they are mirror images of each other. So what is the connection which is going to connect the two sides? It is actually median longitudinal fasciculus. They are present throughout the brainstem, especially in the medulla. They are called median longitudinal fasciculus. So we studied 1 descending tract, 3 ascending tracts. Along with that, their nuclei, which was a part of the dorsal DCML or dorsal tract, which is going to carry information. And now the substantia gelatinosa, which is present in the spinal cord. Here in the medulla oblongata, it becomes the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. So actually, the trigeminal nerve, the substantia gelatinosa, it is in the medulla oblongata as the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. So in the previous video, when we were discussing about the anatomy of the medulla, we came to know that these were the two pyramids that we were discussing. This fissure was the anterior longitudinal fissure between them. Then we had our black markers, which were actually our olives. This is the olive which are present, and I told you that between the olive and the pyramid there comes the 12th cranial nerve, which nerve is this? 12th cranial or hypoglossal nerve. And between the olive and the posterior portion where the inferior cerebellar peduncle was coming, 3 nerves come over here, and those 3 nerves were glossopharyngeal, the vagus, and the accessory nerve. Now till that point I told you that cranial portion of the accessory nerve is going to come over here, but since this portion that we are discussing right now is the lowermost portion of the medulla, so here it will have accessory nerve with its spinal root. Why is the spinal root over there? Because all the other roots, the glossopharyngeal, the vagus, the cranial portion, they are coming from upper portion of the medulla, but the lower portion or even the spinal cord, it is giving the spinal portion of the trigeminal nerve. So now we are done with the whole tract. What we discussed over here in the region of the decussation, that there is 1 descending tract, that is the lateral corticospinal tract, 3 ascending tracts, the anterior and posterior, the spinocerebellar, and the lateral spinothalamic tract. Then the substantia gelatinosa becoming the nucleus of trigeminal nerve. On the posterior side, the posterior median sulcus with the gracile tubercle, gracile nucleus, the cuneate tubercle, cuneate nucleus, and the white matter area between them was fasciculus gracilis and fasciculus cuneatus respectively. Then the central canal, which when goes upward into the pons, it becomes fourth ventricle. Then the medial longitudinal fasciculus, which is actually going to connect the two opposite halves. And then on the anterior side, the pyramid and the olive. But we do not find the olivary nucleus here. The reason being, we'll discuss later. And this is the accessory nerve with its spinal root. This is all from my side regarding the level of the pyramidal decussation. We can give it a reading over here that the level of pyramidal decussation, we can see that the great motor decussation takes place. What happens over here is that through the pyramid lateral corticospinal tracts are passing. Then what happens on the posterior side, we see fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus, then nucleus gracilis, nucleus cuneatus, and then we have the nuclei are actually grey matter, whereas fasciculus are actually white matter. And then we see that the substantia gelatinosa of the spinal cord, it becomes the nucleus of the spinal tract of the trigeminal nerve that we saw on the posterior side. Then the fibers of the tract of nucleus are situated between the nucleus and the surface of medulla oblongata. That is very written over there. And the lateral and anterior wide column of the spinal cord are easily identified in this section with the arrangement. This was the level of the pyramidal decussation. After that, we are going to discuss the level of the sensory or the lemnisci decussation.